Can you guys hear that? I was just about to press record, and then I think my neighbour, who is building a motorbike, I think he's just started on the circular saw or grinding something down. It's so loud. Okay, quick. My thread, the first thread I'm using, is a water lilies, Karen water lilies. It's called Amethyst, and I'm just going to see if the colour shows up. Yeah, it does. So I've got purple, pink, pinky purple. Really, it's not pink. It's pinky purple. That looks a bit more bluey purple, but it's not. It's purple, and then randomly brown. So I took off a strand, and I have got this pinky purple colour here. Where is it? Hang on. Let's put it up there. Pinky purple at the end, purple, and the bit in the needle is brown. So yeah, a bit random. So I've started, so this is my pin from when I just literally haven't counted anything. I just folded the fabric in half and then in half again, and I've now counted one across. Well, I mean, I can tell by accident I got a 2 by 2 square here, so I just picked one because it's so massive. One square is not going to make any difference. Counted 1 across, 5 up, and now I'm going to stitch 3 across. Yep, I'm going to stitch 3 across. So the main issue with this one, oh, it's so lovely. This is on 28 count. I don't know if I've said 28 count antique white, and it's not at all white. It's very much cream, really. Well, is it? No, it is white actually. Yeah, I suppose. The main issue that I have with this first bit is that the centre part is actually not stitched. So at this point, just move my needle actually, I have now started my chatelaine. Yay! I'm just trying to work out if I would actually see it. We started the whatever they're doing outside. They've started it again. Anyway, I have to skip. Oh, I think it'll be alright, you know. Do I need to worry too much about it? No. So I've got 3 across, and then I go down 1. And then I've got 2 down. So 1, 2, and 2 across. And if I just put my thread there, then it would carry underneath. But I reckon if I go up to the top corner, how much of that is going to show. So that's a stitch, that's a stitch, and then this one in between. So from here down to here, across to here, and up to here is not stitched, and I think that my thread just goes across it. So I think it's enough for me to not worry about that at all. And what I'm not doing now is putting my tail this way. I'm going to put my tail to the right hand side here, because this is where this is more stitched over on this side. I'm sure none of that is at all helpful or relevant, but I'm going with it. I'm also stitching really weirdly. Oh, I haven't done two-handed stitching in such a long time. Oh, my dishwasher's going off now. It's all happening. It's all happening. These are really, really very thin threads, or maybe it's just, I don't know, it just feels very dainty. I also don't quite have the right tension yet on this fabric. It's quite loose, so that's me just pushing, there's my fingers there, it's me pushing it up, so it's not quite right, but I thought kind of to get it started, and then yeah, and then kind of adjust it after I've started it, I think. Okay, yep, and then I'm gonna skip 2 down and skip 1 across and just check it. Yeah, that's okay. So one thing I haven't done is make any kind of mark on the fabric to show that I'm stitching this way around. So in a minute, I'm just going to put the tail the other way. In a minute, once this little circle's finished, I suppose I would be able to tell, because this knot is here, but there's a very real chance I would have no way of being able to tell if this is up or down. And I do understand that a number of people have and can easily make mistakes. It would be really easy to pick this one up and it'd be upside down. So what I'll do in a second is grab a needle minder. Hang on. You know when you're like, wait, I've done it wrong. I haven't, but I thought I had. Oh, it's so lovely to do two-handed stitching, but I must admit this is really dainty stuff. This feels really dainty. Where am I going? 1. Oh no, I shouldn't count. Put people off. Okay. Wow, look at that. Nice. I've started. How exciting. How exciting. So what I'm going to do is just going to check. Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just checking the instructions. It said something about stuff around the centre motif, so it said backstitch around, but there's 4 beads here, like crystals probably. I don't know, but those are backstitched, so there's no backstitch in this middle motif. Amazing. I feel like it's quite dark. Is it quite dark? Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So this colour is used. Now, where am I? So I've finished my stitch here. So let me just work this out a second, because this stitch is actually this colour is actually elsewhere, but I'm just trying to work out what the best way is to stitch it. And I think the best thing to do is, there are 2 or 3 other colours before I get back to this colour, and I could do it, but I think actually it's probably more sensible to just tie this one off and come back to the same colour later. I think I'll do that. I think I'm more at risk of making a mistake. So I'm just going to pause and then I'll get the other thread. I've just learned two things. Firstly, there's a little bit in the instructions which I missed last time. Not the instructions, I keep saying the instructions. It's the key, so the legend, the floss key. There's a little bit here that says cross stitch over 1. Because I was looking for the symbol and I thought, oh, I recognise that one and I recognise that one, and this, there must be some over 1 oh, I know there is because I've already seen it, but there's some over 1 stitching in here, and it tells you what to use, I guess, just in case. So that's one thing. The second thing is that the next symbol is for example, gold $sign, which I absolutely cannot find here. So I must be missing something, unless it's a bead. Hang on, hold on. It's probably a bead. It's a bead, right? I found it. So in Evening in the Park, all the beads, there were like 8 colours or something, they were all in numbers, but there are so many beads in this one that they start to go onto letters and symbols. So I found it. So the next symbol, euro sign, not a $sign, is a bead. So I'm not going to do that yet, that comes later. So that kind of means that there will be a gap. Do you know, I can't remember leaving gaps for the beads in the other one, but obviously I must have done, but yeah, it's strange. Right, so that's one thing. Second thing is that on the, it's really hard to explain without showing you, but I can't show you because it's the pattern, but on the page that is the complete design in one page on the PDF, I can see that it's a yellow $sign. I can't zoom in massively, but I can see the symbols, so that's fine. And I can see the outline of the back stitch, so I can do it all from here, it's not a problem. What is very helpful though is the zoomed in sections on a slightly different PDF. When you go onto there, which again I can't show you because it's the pattern, but when you zoom in on this one, I think this is more to show you where the specialty stitches go and the back stitch in a zoomed in manner, because the euro sign is now just a beige blob, and I just noticed that I think the central crystal in the zoomed in pattern is just a green blob. It doesn't actually have the symbol in it, so I thought I would be able to use both for all of it, but I can't. I actually have to use the complete all-in-one page pattern to be able to see the symbols, but then if I need a bit more detail on the back stitch or the specialty stitches, or maybe I think the placement of some half stitches and all that sort of stuff, that will be helpful on the zoomed in page. So I just learned two things by just looking at it and seeing what comes next. So it's cool. I find it quite exciting. Just I don't know it all. So I work it out, and that's part of the enjoyment, I think, is for me, is working some of this stuff out, because you just can't, you have to do it honestly one symbol, one stitch at a time. So yeah, that's cool. Right, so I digress, and I know you're looking at the back which is really boring, sorry about that. So I'm gonna have to pick another symbol and find something else, because I'm not gonna do the beads yet. So the next symbol, again, it's not some of them are very bright, it's not the easiest to see, I will admit, but two little blue dots. So I'm going to find this and come back. I will actually come back with the thread this time. Well, there's nothing quite like going straight in at the deep end. Now, I've not used this before. It's similar to the Petite Treasure braid, but clearly different because it's different. So I know it's one strand, and I think it's pretty shiny. So I think this is the stuff that's a bit wriggly. Oh no, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's one strand, and it feels quite light. Oh, and I realised as well why it feels so dainty to stitch my first stuff. Sorry, I knocked the camera. And it's because it's silk, and it's just so it doesn't catch on anything, and it's just like pulling butter through the fabric, and it just feels so light, and that's because it's silk, which I forgot about. Yeah, this is quite light. It's very lightweight. This isn't crunchy and crinkly like the Petite Treasure braid or like Krynic, so it's not metallic in that same way. Yeah, it's quite soft. Let's give it a go, see what happens. All right, see you in a minute. Okay. I'm attached. I would suggest as well, sometimes it's worth following, when you find the symbol, sort of follow it through, so that you can kind of almost map out where you're going to go in advance. That's quite helpful sometimes, which I think a lot of us do anyway, when we're stitching. Hang on, my cat's just going to jump somewhere silly. That's okay. She resolved her own problem. So, where am I? Can you see? Yeah. I need to start here. So this is not variegated in any way. So I will have absolutely no problem doing, where am I? I'm over here. Hang on, just checking. It is definitely attached, isn't it? Yeah. Hang on. Sorry, it's very wobbly as well. It's the, oh yeah, so I wouldn't have any problems doing, let me just check that went through. I haven't got a knot on the back. Like all the bottom legs and then the top leg. There's no, I wouldn't have an issue with that. So yeah, this is light blue. Yeah, it's weird. It's like the treasure. Sorry, I can see my cat. I recently got a catio, or a cat conservatory, as we like to call it now, and she's got loads of shelves on the side, and she's running around, and sometimes she goes slightly out of view, and I just don't fully trust her yet. Anyway, that's another story. Yeah, so it's like, you're not here for cat stories, I know that. So it's like stitching with the treasure braid because it's quite thick, but at the same time it's very soft. I wasn't expecting this. I don't know what really I was expecting. I don't know if it's twisted either. It's hard to tell, so I'm just going to try and untwist some of it. Right, let's get back to it. Nice. I haven't got my Kindle in front of me today because, well, actually there's no good reason. It's off to the side, so I'm having to kind of pause for a split second while you, well, actually quite a few seconds, while I kind of double check. Also, it's hitting the Kindle. 1, 2. Oh, it is a bit frustrating that it's so small, and this symbol is really, really light. It's just something to get used to. Also, there's nothing to stop me taking a screenshot of what is actually on the camera zoomed in and then zoom in on the screenshot. So it might be that if it's a bit tricky or difficult, then I might well do that. Oh. She hasn't quite mastered the ladder yet. So it was my birthday yesterday, and see, I can sort of, I don't know if you can tell, yeah, that is, it's in the right place. The light is shining so it looks weird, but it is actually, it's almost like, you know, when you stitch with DMC 2 strands and you get 2 strands next to each other, that's lovely. And then if you get 2 strands that are like sat on top of each other, it looks really thin. It doesn't look as nice. That's what that one looked like. So I just wasn't happy about that one. So I'll try again. If it does the same thing, yeah, it's better, but it's not as bad. I mean, in the scheme of things, you will never ever notice that. I'm holding my breath. Where am I? Oh yeah. I'm gonna actually, oh no, that's right. Is it? Don't know now. Like that. Yep. Oh yeah, so it's my birthday yesterday. So I've really wanted to start this one for ages. So I decided, why not start what is now my 43rd whip for my 43rd birthday. It just sort of made sense, you know. That is my excuse, and I'm gonna stick to it. Where do I go now? Straight up. Ow. No, no, no. No, no. Let's not go over there. That's not right. Ugh, that doesn't seem to sit nicely. I'll go over here instead. Just checking. Yeah, that's correct. I would say one of the issues with it being quite small on my Kindle screen is that, wait, let me just check. Yeah, it's hard to mark off. So I've never had a stylus that has worked on my Kindle before. Not once. And yet Black Cat Stitchery sent me their pen, which I think I showed earlier on, and it came with a stylus on the end. And would you believe it, I can get this to work on my Kindle, and it's really pinpoint precision. So I can now mark stuff off with a stylus because my fingers would be too big to do this. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. A very small motorbike just went by really loudly, so I don't know if I caught the pause button in time. All I will say is this circular symbol with the line going vertically is not the same as this symbol with the line going slightly less vertically. Okay. Where am I? Oh yeah, okay. So this is another Karen Water Lilies, and it is a brighter purple than the other one. Yep, I'm going this way. I'll probably just do I'll probably just do this. You can tell I'm concentrating, can't you? I'll probably just do a lot of repeating of myself. No, I'll probably just do this round and then try and work on this on my own, under my own steam, on my own. Don't know. Oh, hang on. Kindle was about to go flying then. This whole unit is slightly wonky and it's slightly off to the right. I'm using a Stitchmaster Siesta Frames Stitchmaster, so it's got two arms that hold the scroll frame, and then I'm using an Albessi, oh, I probably should have said all this, Albessi or LBC, Albessi, 40-inch scroll frame with, I believe, 12-inch rods. So this way, up and down ways, is 12 inches. So it's a little bit taller than the one I had before. I couldn't find a 40-inch across by 9-inch rods, so I went for this one because I really wanted to start it. So that's that. Yes. Kindle's gonna fall again. Whoops. Silk lame there looks a bit poofy, so I just thought I'd flatten it down a bit. I'll move the camera up now. Okay. No, 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 no. Let's not deviate from the pattern just yet. There's plenty of time for that. No, I don't want that tail to go through there because that is not stitched. That's not a stitched area. It's going to be see-through with a bead in the middle. I just want to make sure I'm not carrying my thread behind any spaces that aren't stitched. That would be disastrous. It wouldn't. No one would see it. But if I can not do that, I'm going to aim for that. So the next thread that I'm going to do, which I'm going to stitch here, is the same symbol as this internal one that we had a minute ago. Well, I don't know, half an hour ago. So I'm glad, really, I didn't carry the thread and do it, although it wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever. Now, I think I've gone rogue here. Yeah, I have. I was just, in my head, I was thinking, I was thinking of things. I was just thinking I'm not quite in my groove. Like I'm not. I get this sometimes with other stitching, where I haven't quite like followed. Like I've got the symbol. I know what symbol I'm stitching, but I haven't quite got it like locked in my head. So if you know, like when someone says what's the time, you look at your watch and then you look up and like you haven't actually taken any notice of what time it is. You just looked at your watch and you've looked at your watch, but you haven't actually taken in the time. I feel like it's a bit like that. If you'd said to me, what symbol are you stitching? And I wasn't looking at it, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But when I'm stitching, I'm following the right symbol, so I know I'm doing it right. But yeah, it's just that weird thing of not quite being locked into the symbol. And I do get that on other things that I stitch. It's just a really strange feeling. But also, I'm just not used to this. There isn't a clear pattern. I'm not, you know, there is a clear pattern. What do I mean? There's not a clear, it's not like a routine yet. There's no routine in it. And I think I'm just going to get back into the swing of this. And I guess it would be, I don't know. Does anyone else feel like that sometimes? So yeah, that's that's why I was thinking of other things, and then I just completely went a bit rogue there. But I caught it, and that's good. I was like, this doesn't look symmetrical now. That's not quite right. 2 there. And 1. Nice. Is that symmetrical? Yeah. Looks good to me. So I'm just going to move. I've got a lot of space that side, and I've got, there you go, a lot of space that side. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I will be filming random bits. If there's anything, you know, that you would like to see or not see, or if you'd like me to do a whole section just hearing the thread noise, I'm not talking nonsense, then let me know. I will come back in a bit and show you where I've got to. So thank you very much for watching my chatelaine start. I am very excited. I'm just going to zoom back in again. I'm very excited, and let me just take this off the stand a second. And what I just wanted to do is make sure you can see the colours. I can't tell when my camera is in its stand what you can see. It just looks dark, like a dark thread with a light blue thread, and I can't really tell. So I just thought I'd take this off the stand for a second, and just bring you in. Even though this might be exactly the same as what you saw a minute ago, in which case I will not put this bit in. But if I have put it in, then it does mean you were just looking at a dark thread. So, yes, that is all. I will update in a bit. Thanks, bye. Hi everyone, I'm off to bed now, but I just thought I would share where I've got to. Where I've gotten to. Wait, let me get my pointy thing. So yes, all of this section sort of inside of here is complete. I had some silk lame in these dark blue sections, which is the same as these light blue sections. It's the same type of thing. And then this is the dark blue, no, deep blue sea Gloriana thread that's just going round, and it really is dark blue, green, turquoisey teal. It's just it is really lovely. It looks very dark blue in the camera. It's not really that dark blue. It's more tealy green. Yeah, and so I've got round to here, and then that was on using 2 strands, but it was one length of 2 strands. and then I'm not going to stay up and do the rest, but I just need to complete that circle. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it at the moment. Well, I'm gonna love it all the way through it, but yeah, a great start, and I'm really pleased with how it looks. I'm pleased. It took quite a lot of prep work to kind of get my floss away bags ready, to go through the pattern and the instructions, and to get the fabric on the frame, but so far so good. So very happy with this start. I am off to bed now, and I will work on this tomorrow. See you all in a bit. Bye. Hi everyone. So a bit of an update for you. Doesn't it look pretty? I keep putting my stylus pen pointer down. So from where I was yesterday, I finished the deep blue sea. That's this dark bluey green that goes all the way around. I've added in these little blue lamé. It's the same as this blue. So I've added that here. Actually, I should probably point me the other side. I need to get an actual pointer, not a pen. Then I've added, this is a silk lamé in the dark blue, which is actually very similar to this silk in here. And then there's another, I don't know what that is. I think that's a silk, is it? Yeah, going around the outside. And then, so there's like a bit more lamé, then there are specialty stitches, then there's a row of DMC, then there's a round, when I say row, I mean round of waffle stitches, then, I don't know, I can't remember what that symbol is, probably a row of lamé, and then there's probably a whole round row of alternating stitches, which are probably bead, stitch, bead, stitch, bead, stitch. So it's quite chunky, the rest of this, and I did you probably remember, well, I don't know if I've put it in. I did say what I thought I would do is all the cross stitches first, and then come back and do the specialty stitches, and then the back stitch and all that sort of stuff, like do it in an order. But actually it's just, once you're out here counting, it's risky then that you're going to do all this and not quite have counted correctly. And I have actually missed something that I've had to go back and correct. So I thought what I would do is actually start filling in the inside section with the specialty stitches, in order to, one, make sure that they're okay, that I've left the right gaps before I move on to this sort of outer section, but then also because I can count them and like move out gradually. There is some back stitch that should go around, I don't know, something like here, and then there's also back stitch that goes round, I think, yeah, each of these that I've just done now. So I'll just move you up here a second. So these are the dense Rhodes stitches. They are one strand, and they're kind of corner to corner, and then one fabric strand in to the opposite up here, and then one fabric strand in to the opposite up here. So it's yeah, it's sort of over one, if you see what I mean. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll just try and zoom in a tiny bit more. Lovely. And yeah, it looks really gappy here. You can see all the white fabric and stuff, but you can't really see that once it's back here. And also there will be gold backstitch going around here, around each of these. So I think I'm yeah, so I've got these 4, and then I've got the same 4 going down each of these 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't take a minute to do, so yeah, they're really cool. I love them. It's just that little bit of interest that's different to a cross stitch. But yes, so, oh yeah, the bit that I did wrong was down here. I'll zoom in again, hang on. Actually, I'll get my scissors. I know some of you are probably like, get your pen away from your white fabric. And I'm inclined to agree with you now, so I will get some other appliance that I can use as a pointer that isn't sharp or inky. Anyway, so there's some half stitches here, and they go all the way around, and then there's like a diamond eyelet, which I'll show you in a bit. And then there's these 2 full crosses here in this light colour. And what I did was I stitched this one to the height of the half stitch, and then I stitched the full stitch, and then I had half a stitch left empty. So when I was stitching this dark blue all the way around, I got to here and thought, oh, that's supposed to join to this, and it didn't. So I had to, I just had to unpick some of this light blue, tie it off, and then get a new piece of thread just to sort of do this middle section. I say middle section, middle of what you're looking at section. So it's really, really easy, really easy to make mistakes. You just got to count, and even if you count, still make mistakes like I did. But luckily I was able to spot that one and fix it. So, yeah, it's really cool. I'll just go back to normal size again, hang on. So yes, this is where I am so far. I will finish these dense road stitches, and then I'm probably going to put it away. I'm stitching on a Lola Crow Stitchalong, the Deadly Aquarium, so I want to get back to that, so I'm up to date with it. And yeah, that generally takes 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to leave this once I've just finished this, probably even just this strand. I'm probably not even going to go all the way around. I'm just going to finish this piece of thread and then stop. So, but I thought I should give you an update and just show you where I am. Absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. So I'll see you in the next bit. Bye. Hello there. I thought I would just jump on and do some dense road stitches with you. As you can see, hang on, let me come up. As you can see here, no, don't use that pointy thing. Oh, I still haven't got a pointy implement. I'm going to use these. As you can see here, these are some dark greeny teal ones, and these are some light green. This is my first DMC, so this is a DMC green, and there's this sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then jump to here, and then there's 4 in a row. So I'm just going to repeat the same on the other side. These are dense, this is one strand. Dense road stitches are in every kind of fabric strand, so there's every single one of these individual holes is used in a dense road stitch. In a normal road stitch, it's not called normal, it's just called road stitch. It's kind of there, and then you would skip this one and go into here, and then skip this one and go into here. So I was thinking, oh, one strand, that just doesn't seem like very much, but actually it's really dense. Let me just see if I can zoom in just to show you what it looks like real close up. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start. Thought I'd just do a couple. I don't know about you, I like my tail to sort of be there, so that's my tail disappearing, and then I've only got a little bit of a loop through. That's just my personal preference. And I just go to I come up, oops, in between, there we go, and I just go down in the opposite equivalent. So you're constantly doing diagonals and you're going around in a circle. Although I know it's a square, but you're going around in a circle, just doing the opposite. So coming up here in the middle, going down directly in the middle, and then coming up one fabric strand and going back down the other side. Oh, I created a loop. That was really strange. I happened to just sort of glance at the camera to make sure that it was still recording okay, and the screen was just like oscillating side to side. It was really weird. I had to close it all down. I don't understand what just happened. I don't know. I don't really understand that, but seems okay now. So this one might be a bit clearer to see. I don't know, because it's not surrounded by any stitches. sorry for the wobble. My camera is attached to the stand, so you'd think that if the stand shook, the camera would shake at the same amount and you wouldn't see any movement, but it just doesn't work like that. And now with the 40-inch scroll frame, it's now a bit heavier, so it is shaking. I'm trying to keep my left arm, which is on top, sort of rested on it, so it reduces the wobble. I'm not sure how well that's going. I find once you get the pattern for these specialty stitches, you can sort of work through them quite quickly. Oops. Got a loop on the back. Oh, I can't pull it through. Hang on. Let's see if I can sort it underneath. There you go. It was one of those knots that you can just sort of pull apart, that just sort of pops. Well, I hope so. I'll turn this over in a second and check. Oh yeah, okay, right, I'll just pause and turn over, hang on. Yeah, it's fine, there's no loop, but what I do think is that that middle one there, which was the penultimate one, I pulled it tight when I tried to sort out that knot, so I'm just gonna try and get that one across a little bit more. I think that's okay. Can you still see? Yes. Sorry, I had a moment of checking what I was doing then. Yeah. Good. Can you still see? Yep. I'm using a size 26 needle, which I think I stitched the whole of the chatelaine. Apart from the beads, I used a beading needle for that, but I think I stitched the whole of Evening in the Park with the same needle. I think it's this one. And it's really weird stitching with one thread with a 26 needle because it's quite a chunky needle. Oh, cool. So what I'll do is I'll continue with the other ones. I might pop on some music and maybe speed through it. So see you in a minute. So there we go, they're all done. Oh, it's so lovely, love it, I love it. So I've got some beads that go all the way in here, then I've got it's either, it's going to be a bigger bead, so like a bicone or something, I'm not sure. They go 1, 2, 3 up here. All of this, so that's everything inside now is done. This big gap that goes right the way around the outside here is I thought it was a sort of a diamond eyelet, like part of it, but I think it just says to do kind of back stitch lines. Not sure. Yeah, so they go in between here, so I mean you'll see it in a second I'm sure, but they go in here like little fans, like little flowers, and then there's a tiny little back stitch line that is sort of the bottom of each of these. So I'm going to do this now, and then there is gold back stitch somewhere in here. Yeah, gold back stitch around each of these sort of dark green ones. Whoops, this is why I shouldn't be using these pointy things. and some backstitch around, I think, like these purple squares. Anyway, I'll do it and I will see you in a bit. Bye. I thought I'd just go in and just show you these. I don't know how well they'll show, but they look like little fans, little side fans, and yeah, they're really sweet to stitch. I'm going to do the bottom ones now. Done. They look really sweet, and I managed to get, it was really cool, one strand of floss took me from here all the way to here, and because of the variegation I ended up with this really light sort of petal flowery thing at the end, and so I just did the same, so that I started with the dark end and ended with this light green flower, and I did it in all four corners. I think that's probably the limit of what I'm prepared to spend my time doing to get the variegation sorted. But I just thought it would look more balanced than having sort of two light green ones together. Anyway, there's a bit of DMC 310. There's a little bit of this tiny little two little tiny stitches there, kind of to make the bottom of the flowers. So I'm going to do that now because I'm on a roll. See you in a bit. Hi there, Editing Jo here. I'm about to talk to you about some tiny little backstitch lines in 310, which I later have found out is not backstitch. It's purely the line that is between, it's purely the line that shows where the 3/4 quarter stitch would be. And so really the black 310 backstitch line that you could see should actually be stitched in the tiny little half stitches that I've put in before I have stitched these petals. This became clear in the second section when there was no reference to any backstitch, but I'd already done it in the centre motif. I've now left these. You'll see this later on. I'll talk about it in a future video. I've now left these because they look fine. Howdy. So I've just done the backstitch in 310 at the bottom of these 5 flowers, and they really do, I think they stand out quite nicely. They do make it more kind of almost like a tulip shape just by taking the bottom off. It's great. Yeah, and in here, in this sort of the bottom corners, there are these tiny little half stitches that I've already done. Oh yeah, and then this is like 2 separate cross stitches. But yeah, you can see over here I haven't added anything. Well, it's very blurry, sorry. And then yeah, here, where's my hand? Here I have. So you can see the difference. So yeah, it's really effective. Tiny little bit. There's quite a lot. I say quite a lot. It's not quite a lot, but there's a couple of bits in this pattern where there's this tiny little bit of black backstitch that you can't really, if you don't know it's there, it's really easy to see, or really easy to miss. Or I thought it was just a kind of divider between the specialty stitch and the half stitch in the background, but it's not. It's an actual backstitch. So again, I'm very grateful for the instructions because it clearly says there's a bit of backstitch here in 310, which you can see on the pattern, but I don't know, I don't think I would have done this. I think I would have missed it. So yeah, I'm just going to work my way around. And then that's everything inside of here. Everything inside of here, apart from some gold backstitch and some beads. I won't be doing the beads until I finish the whole of the centerpiece. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to get on and see you in a bit. Bye. Hello again. So I've now put in the gold backstitch. The gold backstitch went round these 4 dense road stitches that are in this kind of darker green, darker teal colour. And then there's also gold backstitch around what will be a bead later on, so it's in a gap at the moment. So this is now all stitched on the inside, just needs beads, which I'm not going to do yet. I keep saying sorry. The next part is a couple of stitches around the outside, like cross stitches around the outside, and then road stitches going all the way around. And they're not dense ones, they are normal, in inverted commas, road stitches. And then it's a whole row of DMC. When I say row, I mean round. It's a whole row of DMC that goes all the way around. And so I think I'm just going to skip. So it's like a couple of stitches out and then do this DMC going all the way around and then kind of fill it in. I think it's really hard to do. It's much easier, to do some of these specialty stitches when there's a kind of enclosed gap. I think that's why they say to do the cross stitch first. So I am going to do that. Yeah, I'm kind of doing it more round by round as opposed to like cross stitch the whole section, specialty stitch the whole section. Yeah, so that's my plan. Sorry, that was a bit of a waffle. So that's my plan. But isn't it beautiful? Look at the colours already. It's yeah, absolutely love it. So, I will come back to you in a bit. Bye.